Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of WASW, where we do have the child promotion of Cheesehead Wrestling. As every state has their own promotion, and the big United States has its own promotion too, or will be having its own promotion. Because I thought I added it in, but I haven't added it in. So it will be in, plus some other promotions depending on how big this can get. I've added all 50 states and didn't add, the capital, Washington, D.C. into this, which would have been the United States All-Star Wrestling. That would be the biggest promotion there is. But overall, I started, if you haven't watched from the beginning, I will go to mine. I started this with me starting 6 months in advance, because I didn't know how this game kind of operates, because I was kind of taking a deep dive into seeing what happens. I played like the default world, that when you bought this game there was a default world. I kind of played it maybe a little bit, but not really too much, and have been dabbling here and there within the game. So overall, in general, started 6 months early, have gotten to where I am at with the popularity of the individual regions, that I'm at 15 with the special bonuses that I've been doing as an incentive for my squad, that if I got 70% or above final event score, that I would get 1 point additional bonus. It was going to be 0.1, but then this game doesn't really save decimal points that nicely. It just rounds to the next, or down to the next full number. So it was going to be 0.1, and then 0.2 if it was 80%, and then 0.3 if it was 90% or above, and then we get 250,000, 500,000, and then 1,000,000 if we had 90 or above, and 580 and above, and 250, 70 and above. And now, since we have two shows, brands wise and everything, that we could get 500,000 within the month, 1,000,000 or 2,000,000, depending how the events would go. So within this, we've been going pretty well. Other promotions that I've just started are trying to make their way through, with Washington, just having that 1 star in the North America and stuff like that, and building their reputation. And Cheesehead Pro Wrestling doesn't have any popularity, I should say, not reputation, popularity. And Colorado having it too at North America and stuff like that, and becoming one of the greatest wrestling promotions there is within the game, because slowly throughout time I was unlocking them as the months were go by, and the years, since we're a couple of years in, because it starts in 2021 and now we're at almost the end of 2023. So and then also, what was kind of the worry throughout the series is that they would steal superstars from my promotion and have exclusive deals when I couldn't do that yet. So I would always have to keep an eye on that and see where it goes, because they could add them as a booker, and then it's exclusively, like, they're gone. I can't use them on my promotion, where if for most of, or some of my superstars, they're on my show, they're on Nebraska, they're on Washington, they're on maybe 3 to 5 different promotions, and they're not, it's pay per appearance, so to speak, and not exclusive. Or then eventually I changed them to written promotions, or written contracts, I should say, not written promotions. Written contracts, because then we can sell merchandise. Well, then we were selling a decent amount of merchandise within the stars that I originally signed, and then the stars that I've signed throughout the years. I would have them as pay per appearance because they are on the first show, and the first show could be people that are swapping out like year after year. But then, as I'm learning throughout the game, is that you would rather sign these people for 5-year contract deals, because as the months and years would go by, because I've had to renegotiate with some of my superstars before, the price gets higher and higher. And so I'm like, I might as well just lock the deal for 5 years, because then they're at a fixed rate for the 5 years, and then I don't have to renegotiate until the end of the 5 years. That way, I'm already losing money. That way, I'm not losing more money as the year goes by. Well, then at that point, then you would have a smaller group, where I was trying to maybe build too big right now. But overall, in general, I've kind of kept within this group, and the worst case scenario is what's going to happen is at the end of the year, whatever has happened or whoever's contract is ending is leaving, and that maybe I pick people up, but I've also signed people to the developmental deal. And being what she said, pro wrestling, that takes a year, takes $1 million worth of our money. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, because now I'm at 68 million, and I can go bankrupt in this game now that they've added it in, and I can also purchase other promotions, but I'd probably go bankrupt by buying them, because their price is probably close to 100 million where I started, and all that jazz. So, anyway, like I've done before, I've got these September shows already pre-booked. That way you didn't have to watch me book them and have hours of long shows and kind of know what's going on. I kind of want it like WWE, where you get the teasers, but not necessarily give out what everything is happening. But you really can't kind of do that with the simulator. I mean, with WWE 2K and stuff like that, you can kind of be like, hey, here's a simulation, and based off of that. But this is like a simulator that's, you kind of have to be the commentary on what happens, because there's nothing that's said through the commentary. But it adds to the show. That way it can draw people in. With this kind of game, it's a fun game. I'm not saying anything, bad about it. It's just with this, it's more of, you're trying to get people to come to your show and everything else. And that's what kind of this game is you have to pick the right talent at the right time, train them, skill them, and then draw their attention. So when you get these commentators, try to get them, with the best entertainment commentary skills. If not, as they get in months and years into it, their skill goes up. But sometimes it's good to get them higher to start off with, but then they're also a decent amount of money when it comes to, the payroll. So it goes both ways. You can either start very young, have very young people not that skilled, and they work their way up throughout the years, and as the years go by, then, they have progressed, sometimes maybe regress, but overall in general, it's how you want to use your superstars, your commentary, your agent staff, or agent is a attribute, your backstage staff, so to speak, and how they want that, and finances, get merchandise, your production, on how you want to get that involved. But that being said, let's simulate to the next 7 days to get to our first show. And that's cool that they added this And we got a email, a push request. Eva Torres, I think I've deserved. I will reply of accepts promise, but I really want to maybe reject it, but I'm going to accept it because she's done pretty well, but she has to also prove it to receive the push. So she's got a couple of months to push herself and see if she deserves it. We'll accept it. And then we will, it is the 3rd, so 4 days, 5 days. And we have another email, title match request. Okay, we're gonna accept it. You literally are in a tag team and a trio tag team championships, so you're gonna get a title request by that time anyway. Next day. And we have WASW first show already planned out. So, Cody Horn. We have a Cody Horn. You're an announcer. I don't know how you can get injured as being an announcer. But, okay, he got suspended. Then he comes back and now he's from rehab. Maybe did something outside that I didn't see. Kelly Hayes. I know there was some like bugs within the game that it changed everyone to be the owner. I wonder if things were happening where they become suspended for no odd reason, have rehab and all that stuff. And then they had this bad relationship with Enzo Fraser, and I saw that it was like decreasing by 10 with the overall backstage morale. But then I called him up and I released him right away because he was one of the ones that was like very downgrading, and everybody like didn't like him in the locker room. So if he wasn't going to be liked in the locker room, then we don't need him or her in our staff. So overall in general, let's get the first show on the road. We will start it. Everything is booked. We will confirm. So Ryan Dominguez, he's been on a roll. He has a storyline going on with Killian James. He's been winning against his opponents and trying to show off his skills to Killian James, because when it comes to them two, it kind of is a back and forth deal. And so he has this match against Bo Davies that's been having a storyline with Zareb Van Kirk that used to be the Royalty tag team, but they've kind of split because they can dominate against the Cruz brothers, but they couldn't win against Egon Mortensen and Harley Bird. But the good looks of Bo Davies, star power of Ryan Dominguez was struggling with breath at the end, and Dylan Ratliff did the heavy lifting in putting the match together. I've added agents to it and see how it goes with your backstage staff, their agent skill of putting the matches together. So the crowd were in love with it. They didn't lose or gain any popularity. So Ryan Dominguez wins. They have a 55% calculation, absolute value of 100% crowd reaction. 74% match quality with a 3-star match, and then a 59% final score within that segment. Then we have an angle where Killian James makes his entrance. He stares down at Ryan Dominguez, cuts a promo, and then they involve in a verbal sparring match. But then after that kind of happens, Sarah Van Kirk comes out of nowhere and engages in a brawl with Bo Davies and kind of, beats him up and was like, haha, sucker, you lost your match, and I'm here to just beat you up and humiliate yourself. So we had an 86 final score, with that being the segment that happened with them two interacting with themselves after the match. And we'll see, they may have a match next month. Then we got Butch Taylor and Oscar Shaw. Butch was struggling for breath. His selling skills, he put huge effort. Explosive style, was impressed. Oscar Shaw gained 0.1 of popularity, and then Butch Taylor helped everyone learn in the segments. Oscar Shaw had good looks, boost of his gimmick, star power. Ezra George's agency really helped Oscar Shaw's performance. Oscar Shaw was trying for breath. The vocal crowd were in love with the segment, and then Ezra George did the heavy lifting. So Oscar Shaw and Ezra are good together when it comes to that, but they had a 42% negative half-star match, 71% calculated of the 100% crowd reaction, and then 65% final score. That entire match. And he had Luista Iwila in his corner for Oscar. Cooper Murphy, the owner of the promotion, Molly King and Lucia Alves is talked about, with Molly King kind of wanting to prove herself that she deserves a title match. There was a storyline between Lucia Alves and Riley McCarthy. Lucia Alves did win out of that and got the title, and sent Riley McCarthy packing up to the Red brand, which is the higher up brand of the superstars that have been within the promotion for a while, and they are, the top dogs. Cooper Murphy and Molly talked, had a 96, and then Cooper Murphy makes a match involving with that. But within that, saying that there is also someone else that was also in contention of wanting to prove herself that she deserves a title match too as well. And we had an 84% final percentage on that. Then we have Dana Rocha and Jada Wagner. Dana Rocha had a boost of her gimmick. Good looks of Jada added to it. The vocal crowd were in love with it. Dylan Ratliff did the heavy lifting as the agent of putting it together. And then Jada was made to look like a threat, and it really helped. Dana lost 0.1 and Jada gained 0.1. She did win the match. Then we had a 69% absolute value with the 100% crowd reaction, a 73% match quality with 3-star match, and then a 70% final score. Then Cooper Murphy was like, yeah, he decided to make it involved with Kate and Molly King. The star power, good looks of both of them added to it. A 62% final score, with them making it official that there was going to be a match tonight for the number one contenders spot to earn a title shot for that match. Then we have two superstars that have been with the promotion for a while and was sent down to the Cheesehead Wrestling promotion, the child promotion, because of staffing, and we didn't have room for them within storyline wise. So we sent them down, kept them within the promotion because we didn't want to let them go. These guys are young, they have a lot to prove, and they've been up and down and working their butts off. So we've recalled them up and started a kind of storyline with them both, or just overall to fill in the gaps for timing wise and see where they're at overall since was being with the Cheesehead promotion, and gain more skill against each other. So Wade Hyde had a boost. Edgar Dale's agents really helped with Wade. So Edgar and Wade are two good candidates. The star power of Waylon. And, okay, so Edgar helped both of them create a good match. The vocal crowd were in love with it. Edgar did the heavy lifting. So Edgar is pretty good with these two. And then Waylon was made to look like a threat in the match. He gained 0.2, and Wade lost 0.1. Waylon did win the match. Had a 55%, 100% crowd reaction. Half-star match with a 52% match quality and a 54% final score. Then we have Lucia Alves popping in to the office where Cooper Murphy is at and was like, really? Like, I just got this title and now there's already talks with me having to face one of the biggest threats there is on both of these women, and it's not fair. And she's just like, well, you're a fighting champion, aren't you? And whoever wins out of this match is going to be your number one contender. And she was kind of upset, but kind of proof that she has to fight whoever is next up. And everyone gained some popularity from it. Star power, good looks of everybody was involved to get an 86% final score for that segment. Then we have Billy Klein with Emmett Rozzi. Them two have been having a storyline with each other. Billy Klein did win the match. Sonny Dorsey did the heavy lifting. Sony and Emmett worked really well to get the segment together. Billy is proving what his worth is within the promotion, of winning the match, and everyone liked the segment, and Sony was good with Emmett with his intimidating presence and his good look to the match. 74% absolute value calculated with the 100% crowd reaction, 2.5-star match with a 70% match quality, and 73% final score. And then we had these two go at it with each other. I don't know if it's because they're both heels or faces, but I think it's because of what I selected to kind of make it an epic match. The workers went for an epic feel, but the crowd wasn't buying it. Molly King had the boost to her performance of the gimmick, the star power, and the intimidating presence, but she was struggling for breath at the end of the match. Kate had star power, good looks, and the boost of her gimmick. She was struggling for breath. The vocal crowd were in love with it. Samuel Jennings did the heavy lifting. The crowd started to grow bored of this match as time went by. 15 minutes. Gotcha. So they didn't lose anything, but Kate Clark is the number one contender for Lucia. Had a 50% calculation of 100% crowd reaction, negative 5-star match with a 10% match quality, and 42% final score. Then we have the main event of the contract signing of James Adkins and Vanduan Conte. These two went at it. James Adkins then went injured for a few months, and now he came back stronger than ever. He was giving me 100% final scores, 90% final scores, and was like, okay, now we got to make this towards the main event overall, with the 95% final score. There you have it. But James Atkins comes in, he cuts a promo on Vanduan Conte. As he's cutting the promo, Vanduan Conte makes his entrance. He cuts promo in the ring with James Atkins in the ring. They both sign the contract. Cooper Murphy makes the match involving them two in the ring with them. James Atkins then does the stare down. And as this is going on, the only bad score was the 64%, but everything was 90s and above. It would be 98% or 100 or 91, to end with the 95%. So it is signed for the White Heavyweight Championship match. The contract signing is official within that happening. So towards the end of the year bash, they will have a match for the White Heavyweight Championship, and we will end the show. It was a 70%. We gained 0.2, so we're going to have one additional point overall. Probably going to be the 2 points, honestly, because if you add 1.2, or the 0.2 after it, it's just going to round to the nearest whole number. And the production setting had a limiting their ghosts with the better production could have been a 78, so that is good to know. And then we will look at the mail, and it sold out with 10,500 tickets sales, with 1,000 people showing up, which is good because then the next time comes around, we can up the attendance, like have a bigger arena, so to speak. So 10,500 for sales. We'll add into that. Then we have 14 days, and we will have the next event. There's an email. Plus, I've been working recently. I want to show the fans what I've got. I would like a main event of a show. You're not main event caliber, so I'm going to reject that promise. I am sorry, but you're not going in a main event. You may not like me, but you're mid-card as of right now. Or lower mid-card. So, not to burst your bubble, but what we've been doing with you is not main event worthy. Another male title. So Matthews could go with a title match, like a title before. So you had the title and then you lost it. Or you have it. Let's see. Does she have the title? She does not. But she did have the Reds, and she did have the trio tag team with Money is Life. Sorry, I just felt something on my arm that was unusual. It was unusual. So she did have it, and she lost it. But she could also be part of Holly Chen that has the Every Event Championship. And she has a lot of titles. She has Tag Team, Every Event Championship. So she's in the tag team, like everywhere. And she's had... So she's a 2-time tag team, 1-time, 2-time. Alright, so she has a lot of accolades. And she's just growing and growing in her skill. Alright, so she could be part of that. I could say yes. And accept it in November, before November 19th. So, just right there, which would have to be kind of the next show. So, that will be perfect. So we got 4 days. And we are at the event. We'll start the show. So we start off with Taguro Sugawara and Nixon Shepard, because Nixon Shepard had the Every Event, or the not every event. He had the title. Possibly could have been the Every Event for the Red brand. But besides the point, Nick Shepard had a title, and then he lost it to Tagawaru. Tagawaru now has the championship, and Tagawaru is interviewed by Colin Peck because of what is happening in the past with what's been going on. So interviewing is like, how does he feel about it? Nixon wants his rematch and everything else. So Tagawaru has been kind of just getting ready for that and everything else. So been kind of giving his answers to Colin Peck about that, and having a final score of 96%. Then we go to the next match, and it is a 6-man elimination match. Star power, good looks of everybody. Aaron Krasko was struggling for breath. Maxim and Kid and Alex Adams are also struggling for breath. Alex Adams did the heavy lifting, putting the match together, and then working with Kid Cruz and Maxim Cruz helped everyone learn in the segment. And Aaron Carrasco, Harley, and Egon Mortensen all gained popularity. Alex Adams lost popularity. Egon Mortensen won the match for them with the pinfall. And then had a 3-star match with 73% match quality, 74% absolute value, with a 74% final score. Then we have Holly Chen is interviewed with the whole storyline that's been going on, whether it be Holly Chen winning and Anna Becker, coming out and, attacking her and all that stuff. And just being, that kind of pest that you always have to deal with because of, she's always in your corner. Holly Chen has to, battle someone every week, and she's going to have a match with her later. and just having an interview is like, how do you feel about your opponent? And she feels very strong about it. She's been winning, so it's just another match for her and everything else, and everyone gains 0.2 popularity from it. Then we have Jaden Cooper, 99 with a video of him. Overall, he's been in a storyline with Javen Abori for the Every Event Championship, and then kind of just faded away. They're more of angle guys and not match guys. And moving on to the next segment of Females Takeover versus Money is Reality, with Riley McCarthy back in the red brand after her storyline with Lucia. She is back with the main group, and so Matthews is part of this as well. Adolph Angelo, so Money is Reality, wins the match. They have a 3.5 star match, 81% match quality, 74% final score, and 73% absolute value. None of them lose popularity. But Aubrey was stood for breath. Abby Perry had a intimidating presence, good looks of D'Angelo, and a boost of her gimmick. And then Richards had a boost of her gimmick. And the crowd were in love with the segment. So we'll move on to the next one. We get a 96% with Javen Abori. He gains 0.1 with the video shown of him. Seeing what he and Jaden can do next. They've been kind of jobbers and stuff like that. And so we move on to Anna Becker getting her interview with Colin Peck about Holly Chen, and she just wants the title back, wanting her revenge, and how she's getting prepared to have a match that is up next, and kind of just pushing Colin's like, hey, I gotta go. I can't talk much longer. And then she goes and has her match with Holly Chen. And Holly Chen did the heavy lifting. She gained 0.2 because she keeps the title. And star power of Anna Becker. And also strong for breath. Same with Holly Chen. Holly Chen had star power, intimidating presence, and boost of her gimmick. And the vocal crowd were in love with the segment. 74% absolute value, with the half-star match of 51% match quality and 70% final score. And we have Rain Grimes and Zoe Matthews that have been going at it as well for the Red Women's All-Star Championship as the highest of them all. Rain Grimes continues to keep it, and she retains it. She was made to look like a threat. Gains 0.3 from it. The full crowd were in love with it, so Matthews was struggling. The star power and good looks between the both of them, and then star power and intimidating presence for Rain Grimes. 72% absolute value with 100% score, 68% final score. Then we have the main event with Matthias Langley that has the red heavyweight championship or all-star wrestling championship with Quadus, and both gain 0.2. He makes his entrance, talks about Quadus, and Quadus makes his entrance, talks about Matthias. They go in a verbal sparring match against each other, and then they do a stare down that Quadus is going to go after that title at the end of the year. PLE. That's what they call them nowadays, not pay-per-views. We will end the show. And we have now gained 2 extra points. $500,000 within getting those 70% scores. So promise to Zoe Matthews, you kept the promise, so succeed. You kept the promise to Harley Bird, and then promise succeeded with Econ Mortensen. So we will go to edit database, promotions, all the way to Wisconsin. So we will add 500,000. So I'm just gonna, I don't get it wrong. So it'd be $66 million. Bless me. 66,373,222. We have an 80 of a public image, and we will add 2 to 17, and we can also add 1 to 2 different regions. And I've been totally forgetting is that we can also do it to ours, but we also do it to a opponent too as well. That's kind of what the thing was at first, but then I kind of just didn't do that. So for this one, I'm going to add to a random promotion. I'm going to save the changes first. Random promotion, and add 1. Well, I can add up to 2, and add 1 to like any promotion to 2 different regions. I'm gonna do I'm gonna do that to Minnesota. I'm gonna add 1 to Latin America. Save that change, and then add 1 to Oklahoma. Save that change. That's what I was also forgetting is that, yeah, we get the 500,000, but we can get 2 an additional bonus, and then also send 1 to any promotion. That way it added some competitiveness to it, and that's what I've forgotten to do. Oh, that's nice. That's what I've forgotten to do throughout time. Turn to game. So that has happened. We have gained 500,000. We're at 66. Added also some boosts, so we're at, should be at 17, and then at 2 or 3 at 2. So there's 1. No. There should be 3 at 2. It will fix itself overall in general. But developmental, this is where our cheesehead promotion comes in play, that we have a lot of people. I was just hiring a decent amount of people because slowly we're going to bring them up, and he is a tag team champion. And this person is a heavyweight champion. So that is a good thing to keep an eye on. And when this person was with a lot of promotions and I sent them to development, the cheesiest cheesehead, he is that champion. Then trio tag team. Okay. Swanson trio tag team. They were New Hampshire, Utah, and Cheesehead trio tag team. So him and was it Our tag team. Puckett, Daryl, and so she's a women's tag team. So Kale and Abram are together. Then we have Puckett, Daryl, and who else? So the Cheesehead Heavyweight Champion, they're a one-time historical. Historical accolades, so they were all of these. And then Nixon. Okay, so Nixon, Daryl, and Puckett are trio tag teams. So they have a decent momentum to them as of right now that we can see overall. We can also look at our roster and see what kind of momentum, and Aaron Krasko has decent momentum to them. Abby Perry does not. Alex Adam has momentum. Is increased by wins and losses. Alex Jones, Anna Becker with a decent momentum. And Martinson has decent momentum. Bird does. Holly Chen has like the most momentum. Bell, Dora, Jada, good momentum. He should be changed. We're gonna change Push to upper mid card at this point because he has decent momentum going for him, and then he's gonna have a good relationship with me. Because him and Van Conte have been very well, and he has a written contract right now. Could look at finances. You're negative 2.6 at 20, or it's probably gonna finish when we get to the end of the month, which we gotta simulate to the end of the month. Do 6, so 7. Proceed, and then we'll see what our official end of the month payroll stuff. So we have no mail. Finances, so 2 points, just a little bit more, but in that ballpark. Production of 1.6 mil. Marketing 5,000. Staff wages 43,000. $1 million due to developmental, and 280 with the sponsorships. Merchandise 5,000, 24. So this was profit within the venue and ticket sales and merchandise. So for our next event, since we've been doing the large room, we could probably do the sports hall. Yeah, it's going to be quite a bit of money, but we get 2,500, or we just, we would do that because we've gotten to 1,000 and sold out a couple of times, and after I think we do it a couple of times, it's going to happen again. So we would just select that, and yeah, it's going to be a hefty price, but overall in general, I believe in our company that we will be able to make the best show possible, and with the storylines of what we have, with making these 70% match or final score for the events, we're saving $500,000 on our stuff, and also prestiging very well, with adding a point to our popularity for the region, so we can continue to grow. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. We'll look at merchandise and Holly Chen, $810. Okay, and 500, 379, Oscar. Okay. And Quadus, 232. But with that being said, hopefully you've enjoyed this video as we continue to strive successfully to push Wisconsin All-Star Wrestling to the best we can do. So, have a good one.